Hello and welcome to the Novice Coder. My name is Josh, and today we're going to be talking about setting up your local machine to run Laravel and the prerequisites and other software you'll need installed in order to make that happen. Let's roll that intro. Alright, let's get this started. So with Laravel, or PHP even, there are multiple ways that you can run this on your local machine, and it also varies very much based on what operating system you're using. Today we're going to be covering Windows, as well as just basically what I would say the easiest way to get this up and running on your local machine. I typically will use Laravel Homestead on my Windows machine, or if I'm using a Mac, I'll use Valet. And also with Laravel 8, they even released what they're calling Laravel Sail, which is basically just running it in a Docker instance. Today, though, we're going to just be doing what I would say call the old school way of getting this up and running. Basically getting PHP installed on your machine, getting Composer up and running, and then, yeah, that's basically it. From what I have found, the easiest way to get this started is we'll have to do get PHP installed. XAMPP or some other WAMP software, I tend to find to be the easiest way of getting PHP on your machine. So basically you'll want to come to, and again I'll provide these URLs in the description below, but if you go to apachefriends.org, this will take you to XAMPP, which will install Apache, PHP, Mariah database, and all that. So you'll just want to click for XAMPP for Windows right here. They also have it for Linux or OS X. I've never used it for Linux or Mac OS. Linux and Mac make it a lot easier to run PHP and just Ubuntu in general. Servers. So anyway, I've already downloaded XAMPP, so I'll go ahead and just run that. You'll want to run XAMPP or just install PHP before you run Composer, because Composer requires PHP to be installed. Sometimes you'll get this error message here, basically just a warning saying that there may be an issue. I haven't had any issues with just hitting OK and continuing on. You may, but from my experience in the past, I've never really had many issues. You want to go through the setup wizard. I tend to just keep it with what it provides, and then go ahead and install. And then it annoyingly opens that additional window, and then you'll want to come back to the install window here. Go ahead and click next, and it will install XAMPP for you. Alright, now that that's done installing, you end up on this final screen here. Do you want to start the control panel now? We'll just go ahead and say no. When you're running it locally, the way we're going to run it, we don't necessarily have to have the control panel running. If we do want to connect to the MySQL database, we will need to turn that on, but for now we'll just leave that turned off. So we can go ahead and click Finish. Once that is installed, we are now ready to go ahead and move on to installing Composer, which if you go to getcomposer.org, again, link will be posted below, you'll find here under locally, to install Composer locally, run the installer in your project directory, see the download page for instructions. So if you go to the download page and click on where it says download and run Composer setup.exe, go ahead and click on that link. That will download the Composer.exe file for you. This will be just an easier method than via command line, from my experience. We'll go ahead and click next. Then we get to this screen, and it's going to ask, basically wants to know where PHP's at, because it needs PHP to run. So I just leave that here because it's installed with XAMPP, and you want to add this PHP to your path. Basically that's confirming that is the correct URL. You can then click next. Again, next, unless you have any proxy URL information you need to provide. Otherwise, you're good to go ahead and click install. All right, and then it basically gives you a warning saying that in order to run Composer for the first time, you'll need to close all your command windows and open them up again, because the open ones currently won't realize that Composer is installed. So we can go ahead and finish, and that is done. All right. Then you want to come over, once Composer is done installing, we're going to come over here to back to the Laravel docs. You can install Laravel via project by project basis, or you can install the Laravel installer, which is what we're going to do here today. So if you hit the Windows key R, that'll open your prompt here. We can click OK. So we'll go ahead and run command prompt window. Then we're going to type in Composer global require Laravel installer. This is going to install the Laravel installer globally, so we'll be able to register the Laravel namespace, so we can install that Laravel project wherever we want without typing Composer create project, this command right here. This will just shorten it up a little bit and make it a lot easier. All right, so now that is finished. So first what we'll want to do after that is you're going to need to add that to your path. So if you notice down here, it might be easier to copy and paste these. There's one for Mac, Windows, and Linux. We'll need the one here for Windows right there. So how you want to do to update that is click on your little folder icon there where it says this PC. You'll want to go ahead and right click and click Properties. This will bring up your systems window. On the left hand side here, we'll go to Advanced System Settings, and then we'll need to go to Environment Variables. Once we have that open, we will go under System Variables. You want to select Path and click Edit. Once that is done, in here you'll want to go ahead and add that snippet of code or that path in here, so we'll be able to use it. I've already added it right here, but you'll just want to go ahead and add that in there and then just click OK. And then we can exit out of that. We don't need to be in there anymore. And then from there, we can go ahead and for my purposes, I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder called Code in here that we're going to store our projects in. So I'm going to go back to the command line and I'm going to go to CD into Documents, CD Code, because that's where I put my code folder. But once you can go to wherever you want your Laravel repository to exist. And basically what we'll just do is we'll type Laravel new and whatever you want your project to be called. So we'll just call this one tutorial. And once you click enter, it's going to start installing your Laravel project locally. It's going to, I think in the background, it's basically pulling from the probably the GitHub repo that they have set up for Laravel. Depending on your hardware configuration, some of these things may take longer, some of them may go quicker. Through the years, Laravel has continued to add more and more features and functionality to their offering, so it does take a little longer to initially install everything. It has a bunch of different packages and dependencies that it will install in order to get that up and running. As you can see here, it's quite a few. All right, and that is done installing. So next step, we should be able to, it says in the instructions, PHP artisan serve. Oh, pardon me, you need to CD into the directory. So we need to go into the directory that Laravel, to the actual project directory. That's where the artisan file is located. So then we will type PHP artisan serve. I'm pretty sure I probably make that mistake every time I start a new project. Anyway, we should be able to go to this URL right here. So 127.0.0.1, I believe it was what that was. And yep, and then 8,000. And boom, there you go. We are now running a local instance of Laravel. For all practicality standpoints, you'll want to probably adjust the env file and all that stuff before you actually really dig in and do too much with it. But as it stands now, we are running Laravel locally, and should be ready to hit the ground running with whatever coding you have coming up. We'll probably be throwing together some more videos in the future. We're gonna probably do find a project we want to work on to film and walk through and kind of do like a little course on building some sort of application. I'm not sure which one that's going to be yet, but keep a lookout for that in the future. Thanks for watching and joining us here at the Novice Coder. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell.